UFC Fight Night, Vettori versus Dolidze. Here's my experience.
I see my haters proud of me now. When I'm around, it's all smiles. I took over my whole town.
All right, to kick this thing off, I'll give this card a solid 7 out of 10. The first 3 prelims all ended in finishes. 2 of the first fights being female fights that ended in knockout finishes. With Carl Judas and Priscilla Cassiera getting knockout wins in their fight, which was very impressive. And it just wasn't a barrage of punches that got the knockout win. It was one shot, and their down type knockout wins was for... And then you had Andre Lima getting the late finish over Daniel Barres. I think it's time for Andre Lima to start fighting some elite competition at flyweight. The next prelim fight I want to talk about is Mr. Carlos Vera versus Josias Musasa. Carlos Vera came in the heavy underdog, and he was able to knock out and choke out Josias Musasa. What Musasa does from here, I have no idea. You came this way and then get it put out in the first round. It's not a good look. But Carlos Vera was able to pull off a massive upset, and at 37, I don't know how many more fights he has, but at least he had this one good performance in him. In the prelim main event, we had Mr. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Ryan Spann making his heavyweight debut. Cortez Acosta is looking like a dangerous man at heavyweight, and Ryan Spann, what he's going to do in his heavyweight career, I have no idea. Usually when people go over to heavyweight, it's kind of a last-ditch move to save their career. Ryan Spann is 1-4 in his last 5, and that win over Dominic Reyes isn't going to save his career too much longer. Cortez Acosta moves on to being 6-1 in the UFC. Who do y'all want to see Salsa Boy fight next? I feel like he probably gets somebody in the top 15 in heavyweight, which is not very hard considering there's like 30 UFC heavyweights. Open up the main card, we had Kevin Viejas versus this man. Kevin Viejas looked fantastic through and through. His lone losses came against John Silva. That's what he called out for, a rematch. I don't think that fight's going to happen next. John Silva's moving his way up the rankings, while Kevin Viejas is pretty much beating up whoever the UFC puts in front of him. I think it's going to be like that for at least 2 more fights, and then he probably gets somebody ranked. Or who knows, he might get 15 in the rankings or something like that, and they try to push him through. I don't know what they're going to do, but whenever they do it, I will be watching because Kevin Viejas is a very entertaining fighter. Following that fight, we had Brenison Ribeiro versus this man right here. Ribeiro looked good. He is on a 2-fight finishing streak right now, which is really, really impressive. He was able to lock in the submission in the second round. Very good win for Brenison Ribeiro. He has bounced back very well after getting knocked out by Miang Zhang. The year came in overweight by 5 pounds and then got finished in the second round and gassed after the first round. The UFC does not like stuff like that. He has to have a fantastic performance his next time out, or he's going to be in danger of being cut early in his UFC career. The first fight of the night where I was like, what is happening right here? We had Mr. Damon Blackshear versus Cody Gibson. Damon Blackshear pretty much just walked through the first round. Cody Gibson was getting off on him the entire first round, and it looked like Cody Gibson was going to run away until the second round. Damon Blackshear woke up, and Damon Blackshear fought like we all know Damon Blackshear to fight, and he was able to secure the second round finish after looking like he was going to get finished in the first round, even though he did say the problem that he had. He ate too much, trying to rehydrate and refeed his body, and he just started off sluggish, and he was trying to make his food digest, which is a very weird excuse, but it's not one of those excuses where, all right, that's going to happen every time. Hopefully he figures that out, because the second round Blackshear is the Blackshear that we know and love, and he was able to secure the finish pretty easily. The next fight we had the tough killer, Mr. Alexander Hernandez, taking on tough winner Kurt Holobaugh. Alexander Hernandez in the first round looked kind of shaky, but outside of that, he was able to put cruise control on. He said he lost feeling in his right arm, so he had to use more of a wrestling approach, and it worked out really well. If that's how he fights with one arm, imagine what he could have did to Kurt Holobaugh with 2 arms. I feel like this fight was a perfect stepping stone for both of those careers, as Alexander Hernandez has fought some of the best in the UFC, and he is trying to get back to that point, and I feel like he can just at 32 years years old. I feel like he has a long career ahead of him in the UFC. In the co-main event of the night, we had Chidi Njoku versus Lajus Gillespie. Njoku, if he fixes the weight issues, he could be a real problem at 170. His clinch game is more of a mauling clinch, and it is impressive to watch every time you see it. I don't know who he fights next. Hopefully he gets the weight under control. That finish was absolutely spectacular coming in the co-main in the second round. That was a beautiful knee coming out of the clinch. In the main event of the night, we had a rematch. We had Mr. Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. Vettori did have the most dangerous part in this fight. I want to say at the end of the second or third round, it looked like he was about to put Roman Dolidze away, but Roman Dolidze showed that he has a chin and he can take a punch. But besides that, Roman Dolidze also proved himself, which he seemed very surprised about. They can go 5 rounds very hard, and I like to see that out of main event fighters or potential contenders for the belt. I feel like Roman Dolidze gets somebody in the top 5 his next time out. If it's Israel Adesanya, if it's Sean Strickland, if it's Robert Whitaker, I don't know, but whoever it is, I will be entertained because I know Roman Dolidze is going to step forward and push on the gas for all 3 rounds or all 5 rounds, whatever they decide to do for Roman Dolidze next. How did you guys feel about fight night for Vettori versus Dolidze? I gave it a solid 7. What was your favorite highlight? What was your favorite low light? Let me know what surprised you the most. And like always, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Be good people.